And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us here. We got Duane Bishoff joining us, Bishoff & Associates, CPA of Tampa Bay. We're going to talk about an update to the BOI and also the ERCs. What does that mean? The beneficial ownership interest in a corporation. Also the employee retention credits as well. Bloomberg has a new poll, 48% right direction survey, highest ever recorded. We're going to talk about that, as well as Tracy West going to be joining us, Valspar Championship at ProLink Sports. And, of course, we know the Valspar Championship is coming up, so we have Tracy West joining us here in studio in just a moment as well. State Representative Berny Jaques. We've got Bernie back on the program. A lot of talk about eliminating the property taxes. I think that would be super awesome. I think everybody's going to be on board for that one. I can't imagine who's against it. Well, I do know who, but we won't go into that right now. But yeah, so a lot of good stuff on this show today. I want to let you know about our next gratitude party. This is our third Thursday business mixer. Thursday, March 20th, coming up at 6 o'clock. Thursday, March 20th, 6 o'clock, Dave. Always a good time meeting our show partners, coming on out, and it's a great time to get together.
Absolutely. Tarpon Turtle, too. We'll be on this side of the town over here, Pinellas County. Yeah. Tarpon Turtle's fantastic, right on the water. The appetizers are outstanding as well. It's always a great time. We meet a lot of different people. When you come on down, meet people on the show itself. You can take conversations a little bit further than you normally do that's actually on the radio as well.
Yeah, exactly. And we offer it out. We open this up to all of our audience. Anybody out there listening, if you're hearing it on YouTube, Rumble channel, maybe listening to our podcast, you are invited. Come on out Thursday the 20th. Save the date. It's always the third Thursday. And we rotate it between Hillsborough, Pinellas. We try to make it convenient for everybody. 6 o'clock over at Tarpon Turtle, which is Lake Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs. And we're going to have apps provided by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. As you know, my wife Lindsay and I own a top real estate team here in Tampa Bay, and our goal is to help sellers sell faster for more money, maximizing the profit. As part of our daily show, we feature multiple real estate listings, and we think that the highest duty for our sellers is to get the maximum exposure, which leads to maximum profits in a shorter marketing period. Helping you sell faster for more money, that is our goal. Beautiful listing here at 10129 Little Road. This one's in Port Richey. We have a commercial property for sale. This one is currently operating as a chiropractor office, but you have over an acre of land, 2337 square feet on Little Road, Newport Richey. Currently high visibility on Little Road, flexible for a variety of professional, medical, or business uses. Your convenient access is State Road 50, Highway 19, Suncoast Parkway. There's public transit available. Convenient, 2 curb cutouts for circular parking, ADA compliant, a lot of opportunity here for businesses. Newer roof as well in 2020. And 10129 Little Road, Newport Richey, one of our commercial real estate listings. As you know, we list vacant land, commercial properties, residential properties, also mortgage loan originator now as well. So we can help you with your refinances, purchasing, buying, of course. We can help you on the real estate side and the mortgage side. Pioneer Mortgage Funding is the new company that we are hanging our license with. 221 Howard Drive. Got a multi-million-dollar listing here, 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach, Florida. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3,500 square foot, single family home, exclusive Bel Air Beach location. This one has a gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances, saltwater pool, 100 feet of water frontage on deep water, and you are only 1 block from the beach access there. 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach, Florida, and you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. That's right, Duane. Only in America are we seeing Doge, D-O-G-E, Doge, and we're seeing a lot of things happening right now, man. Only in America. Unbelievable. A lot of good stuff happening.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, every day it's something different. Some of it comes down like, well, maybe it's this and that, but yeah, a lot of it's coming through.
Yeah, a lot of it's coming through. And
they're all scared.
Like, whoa. They're
all scared.
They're scared.
Because they've talked about, part of it, they've talked about, oh, we've been, working on this pork and waste and all that, but they haven't.
Yeah,
It's been there for both sides. It's been there
Both
for a
sides.
while.
That's
you
true.
know. So
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
It really is. And when you see it from a different perspective in a sense, because you're working with business owners, small, medium size. You probably got a couple of big companies you're working with too. But when you look at that and you see how hard these businesses work, and then you see, hey, can I take a deduction here? I really don't have the money for this, but I've been paying quarterly, or maybe I didn't pay quarterly. And you're talking to all these business owners and how hard they work for that money. And then to see the government take it in and then just spend it and waste it, and the waste, fraud, and abuse. So you're probably seeing a little bit different perspective than most.
Yeah, I always said I thought there should be a place on a tax return where you could say where 10% of the tax you paid went.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you could check if you thought it should go to the military or whatever.
Directive.
Who you thought your 10%. People would feel a little bit better about it.
I like that. Yeah. CPA of Tampa Bay, Duane Bishoff in studio with us, CPAofTampaBay.com. And Duane, let's go through our updates first so we get them in. So the BOI, that's a big one. A lot of people don't understand. As I understand, it's beneficial ownership interest in a company or corporation.
Yeah, corporation and LLC, correct.
Okay.
So if you're one of those that it's been on again, off again, on again, off again, it's on again. So the Supreme Court made a ruling, and so this filing is back on. It's due. So this is the original file. If you haven't done it, if you were incorporated before 1/1 of 24, originally you had until 12/31 of 24, got pushed back and forth. Now it's March 21st. You have to file this by March 21st.
Okay.
You can file it yourself by going to finsin.gov, I think /BOI, something like that. Make sure you're on the federal site. There's some copycat sites. When you get to the end of it, it says, put your credit card in. If it is, get out of it.
Get off of that one.
Get off of it and get back in there.
Yeah.
So that's a big one. That's due. Heavy penalties for not doing it. I really think, this is my personal opinion, so this is just my personal opinion.
Sure.
I really think these penalties are like for criminals if they haven't filed this, so they can just hammer them down the road. I don't think they're necessarily going to chase people for these penalties, but they're there. They're in the rules, so they could.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know.
It's like enforcing it. Yeah. It's
correct.
Like there's this. When you look at some of the laws and how they're written and how they can be interpreted, right? So now the state of Florida is a constitutional carry. I was talking with Thomas King over the weekend. We had a great gala with Captain Will Smith over at the airport. What an awesome event, really cool event. If you didn't go this year, you've got to mark your calendar next year, February. Room full of all-stars, just really fun event, hanging out. You got inside a hangar and you got the jets and all that. But, we're talking to some of the folks, Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy, but, a little bit off topic, but kind of similar to what you're saying is, if you're constitutional carry, obviously that means you can carry, you got to have it concealed. You can't open carry like Texas. But if you are constitutional carry and you have it on your sidearm and you get pulled, the cop sees it or somehow he ascertains that you have it on you. Maybe you just tell him you are in violation of federal law and you could be taken to jail for 25 years for that one, just because it's not away from your body, away from your person, zipped up in a little bag or something, or I guess in your glove box.
Right,
but it's like you said, right? It's so the BOI then the takeaway is to file by the March 21st.
Correct. Right.
Yeah, or it's a $500 a day, was it?
Yeah, something like that. Close to $500 a day penalty.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going on with the ERC, the Employee Retention Credits?
So the ERC's Employee Retention Credits, if you've heard, those were big, literally like 2 years ago. There was a lot of fraud with them. The IRS just absolutely stopped processing them. And for like 9 months, they finally started processing them. The first we got notice of from clients is denying claims they have no basis to deny these claims and said, we'll see you in court.
Wow.
Sue us if you want.
Federal government saying that?
Federal government.
Wow.
Sue us in federal court if you want to, not even like an appeal.
Yeah.
Because we followed the instructions. There were no instructions when we filed these, and they sat on them for so long. Now it's interesting. I've had two clients. I have a client call me the other day and says, I got to just check for the IRS for $100,000. I don't know what it's for. And I go, what's your ERC filing? It came through. Now, the crazy thing is we didn't do anything different for his than we did for all the ones that he denied.
Wow.
And we've had two of them come through. So they're starting to come through, whether it's a denial letter or it's a check.
Yeah.
So anybody who has one,
well, that's a nice check.
Oh, yeah.
100K. I haven't got mine, Duane. Let's check on mine. That's a good one.
Yeah.
CPAofTampaBay.com is Duane Bishoff's site. And, one of the things we talk about a lot is just, something we should mention pretty much every time you're on air is to get a review. People don't realize that you can get a review. You can look back, I think, up to 3 years.
Correct.
Right? So you can look back at your tax filings for 3 years. Now, some people do it to increase their income so they can buy a house and things like that. But, Duane, what have you seen over the years where you've been able to take a review of someone else's work? So it's somebody else, maybe sometimes it's a family member, and, I just let my Uncle Johnny do my taxes for me. The challenge is they may not be the best, right? They may be overlooking some things. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, so certainly we've done some and came back and says, yeah, they look good, probably more than not. We did one when the daughter did the return, didn't have any idea what the rules are. And we filed, actually, he's still waiting for his refund, but we amended 3 years returns. He owed in 1 year, but in the other year, he's getting back like $175,000 or something.
Wow.
She just didn't have any idea.
Yeah.
And then we've got a client we picked up from that a regional firm did, and their accounting staff just blew it on this 1040, and there's a section of law where you can take a deduction. I call it the Trump tax, is 20% deduction, and they didn't take it. They missed it, and it's for this guy it's $75,000.
Wow.
And they just missed it. I was stunned myself.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big miss. I wanted to play this clip here too. Bloomberg's poll. They've been doing a poll, right direction survey, for many years, but I wanted our audience to hear this.
Over the weekend, Bloomberg measured 48% of America thinks it's going in the right direction. That is the highest percentage ever recorded in the history of Bloomberg keeping the right direction survey.
Wow.
So guess what? There's a lot of headlines going back and forth and a lot of things going on, but what does America think? That's what we think.
I think America loves it right now. Right direction, optimism. We've talked about this, businesses investing, people saying, hey, yeah, the tariffs work. It actually worked when you threaten a reciprocal tariff. What did we see? $500 billion investment promised by Apple.
Yep. And
that's just one of the latest. There's been many companies saying that.
It is. It's like we said earlier, the people are starting to see what their money was spent on, and some of these crazy, some people may agree with it, but majority don't seem to be agreeing with it.
Right.
And then the other lawmakers that are coming out there against this, like, really? You're against us trying to save waste and whatever? I can see, if you're a government worker, your job may get cut, and, that sucks for you.
Yeah.
But the productive ones, probably not.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's funny when they had the crashes, that series of plane crashes and stuff. Oh, they made cuts to the FAA. Did that have to do with it? And those guys, absolutely not. It's 400 jobs on thousands of jobs. It had nothing to do with it, but they keep trying to spin it like it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there was a big one too the other day. I just heard. It's all kind of on the back of J.D. Vance going over and speaking at Munich. If you saw that speech, what a great speech he gave. But there's one where you're talking about, here, I think this is it, the censorship clip. Here, I want to play this one too.
This is what Kamala Harris would have wanted for the United States of America.
Is it a crime to insult somebody in public?
Yes, it is.
And
Pause. It's a crime to insult someone in public.
I'd be in jail.
Oh, my goodness.
Give me a felony then.
I know. Dave, you're in trouble, Dave. All right. So then it gets worse now. It gets worse. Here we go.
a crime to insult them online as well?
Yes.
The fine could be even higher if you insult someone in the internet.
Why?
Because in internet, it stays there.
It stays on the internet. Okay, you got insulted online. You got insulted in person. No. That's something that they might be doing overseas, but that's not what we want here in America. That's not what we stand for. It's called free speech, and it's called be a big boy. And if you don't like it, do something about it. But. Yeah, they're pretty crazy that they're saying that on a TV interview.
No, I remember I saw that when it happened, and I'm just shaking my head. What is wrong with these people? How could they figure out that they're wrong. You just can't help dumb. You can't fix stupid.
Yeah, you can't fix it. Criminalizing, language.
Right.
Essentially criminalizing language. And what you were saying before, a lot of these issues are 80-20 issues, 90-10 issues. I mean, it's just unbelievable that they're going to get up and scream about it. But hey, that's their right to do so. Please, if you disagree, please let everybody know about it. That's fine, because then we at least know where you stand. So
right.
Let's take a quick break. More with Duane Bishoff back here in studio, CPA of Tampa Bay on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Coming up, State Rep Berny Jaques going to join us as well. We're going to ask him about this, a lot in the news lately about the state potentially eliminating property taxes or maybe significantly reducing them. More with Berny Jaques coming up. Also, Tracy West joins us from PGA Tour. Valspar Championship coming up just around the corner right here in Palm Harbor. Innisbrook Resort coming up as well. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash?
You want me to call now?
We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer, and they won't close. So this is Brandon Rhymes, 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. Brandon Rhymes, we buy houses cash and fast.
Represent.
Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. That is my direct cell. You can call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here in studio. We are talking with our CPA expert contributor, Duane Bishoff, CPA of TampaBay.com. And I want to let you know about a couple of our hot listings. 8107 Sierra Manor Lane, one of my favorite listings right here. Beautiful property. This one's 443. You got a 2-story single-family home, 4 beds, 4 bath, and 3-car garage. Over an acre of land, 1.17 acres, 3,600 plus square feet. Gorgeous home, beautiful pool, private spa. You have 130 feet of private water frontage. Metal roof with a 65-year transferable warranty. What a great property here. Beautiful home, 8107 Sierra Manor Lane in Tampa. It's an estate-style property, private gated community with only 3 homes in the gated community. 8107 Sierra Manor Lane in Tampa. A great opportunity to buy real estate here in Tampa Bay. 5444 90th Avenue Circle East. This one is in Parrish, Florida. This one is another beautiful listing of ours. 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 3-car garage. 2,600 square foot single family home. You have a pond in the backyard, conservation view, large lot. You got 0.36 acre lot here. Owner is motivated. Beautiful property. We just did a price improvement. Beautiful wood floors, cherry wood floors, and a great opportunity to own real estate in Parrish, Florida. It's Ancient Oaks, 5444 90th Avenue Circle East in Parrish, Florida. Beautiful property, and you can see all of our 60 plus listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
He's just made in America.
Quick shout out to our friends over at Lee's Royal Services as well for all your cleaning. Lee's Royal Services, residential, commercial cleaning. Lee'sRoyalServices.com on the interior. On the exterior, reach out to Heights Soft Wash, pressure washing company right here in Tampa Bay. HeightsSoftWash.com. And Ramin is the owner. I've known him for many years. He does a great job cleaning our residential and commercial properties. HeightsSoftWash.com. HeightsSoftWash.com. All right, back here in studio, Duane Bishoff in studio with us. So we did our BOI update, our ERC update as well, and a little bit about disaster relief too. You know, there's a cool program out there. I don't think a lot of people know about it. It's called a 203H program. If you're affected by a natural disaster and your property's been affected, if you're a tenant or an owner, you can get 100% financing. Pretty cool program by the federal government. So what are you seeing on your end when it comes to disasters?
So the disaster relief, there's if you're out of pocket, serious amounts of money, you can have a claim on your tax return, and since was deemed a federal disaster, there's a big opportunity for a deduction. So basically, if you self-insured, if your insurance just didn't cover, FEMA didn't cover, or didn't cover enough, and you're out thousands of dollars, that could definitely be a tax deduction that'll bring you money back in your pocket. Filing a return. We've had guys file as much as $250,000 losses, and they went back and got $30,000 that year, got $30,000 back, and they getting $30, money the next year, and so you can carry it back and you can carry it forward, and so it's basically the difference in the value of your house before the storm and then after the storm. And you can get appraisals done that will do that, will value those.
Yeah.
And then you have to figure in how much you got, if you got anything from FEMA, if insurance reimbursed, you got to subtract that and then see where you're at. When it's a smaller scale, what we try to do is how much were you out of pocket? And then we say, okay, this is the value of your house. This is the change, and it may be a $20,000 deduction. But you start adding up. These houses have flooded.
Yeah.
All your personal property, cars that flooded. The insurance doesn't reimburse you. Right. All of these things. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, expenses, travel. I think they can even reimburse for travel expenses if you have to get out of town and go stay at a hotel or VRBO.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different sections of it. But if you had it, it's don't file your tax return without looking at it.
Yeah. Yeah, and also Ray Hall with Ray Hall Appraisals. He's our show partner for all things appraisal values. He offers a owner's use appraisal. It's called a restricted use appraisal. He'll do that for, I think, right at a couple $100. So it doesn't cost you as much as you would do if you're going through a bank or whatever for a purchase or refinance. But I would highly recommend reaching out to RayHallAppraisals.com if you need that type of support. Duane Bishoff, CPA of Tampa Bay. About a minute left, my friend. Final thoughts.
Well, final thoughts that hope Doge keeps doing their job and let the courts, quit blocking them.
Yeah.
And maybe, let some of this stuff start flowing where it, reduces some of our debt so our kids don't have to pay all this off.
Yeah.
And as far as that, for our area here, normally business returns are due, S's and partnerships are due March 15th, and individuals are due and C Corps are due April 15th. They've all been pushed to May 1st.
Okay. Pushed out a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So get a little bit more time, but that doesn't mean completely relax and delay.
Correct.
Keep your books together, get your bookkeepers to get everything together. When you walk into Duane's office, or of course you're doing a lot of stuff virtually, I imagine.
Correct.
You want to see everything already put together, right? In the P&Ls.
Yeah, we do it all. It costs you more if we have to put it together than if it's. We like it better come done, ready to go.
Yeah,
is how we really like it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, make his job easy. Let him focus on, the filings, reaching out to the IRS. He's got a direct number, kind of a faster number to get to the IRS and talk to his folks. Duane Bishoff, CPA of Tampa Bay. Thanks for coming in, man.
All right, thank you.
All right. Coming up, we're going to talk with State Representative Berny Jaques. We're going to talk about property taxes. Will they be going away in the state of Florida. What is going on? There's a lot going on rumor-wise. We're going to talk with him. Also, Tracy West coming up from the PGA Valspar Championship right around the corner. We're going to talk with her and get a preview. Coming up, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon BRimes here in studio. Coming up, State Representative Berny Jaques joining us on the phone line, and we have Tracy West in studio. Valspar Championship coming up just around the corner. We're going to talk about that as well. Pinellas County's annual attraction of over 130,000 patrons. 400 corporate partners and 2,500 volunteers, raising over $1.3 million annually for 90+ regional charities. We're talking with Tracy West here after State Rep Berny Jaques on the program. Before we do, a couple of hot listings here. You know, my wife Lindsay and I own a top 100 ranked real estate team at Keller Realty, and we like to feature our listings live on air. We got a great opportunity at 1905 Masters Way. This one's in Plant City, East Hillsborough County. Beautiful property, price reduction, just improved the price on this one. 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage, 29 square foot single family home over at Masters Way in Plant City. Beautiful property, 0.38 acre lot, no backyard neighbors, lighter colors on the interior. You got the split floor plan as well. Walden Lake has some great amenities as well. Walking trail, dog park, playground, sports complex, and access to the lake for non-motorized vehicles. Check out our beautiful listing at 1905 Masters Way, Plant City, another one of our great listings from the Platinum MVP team. 455 US 19. This one's Alt 19 in Palm Harbor, unit number 151. We got a beautiful property here, great opportunity, entry-level home, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, ground floor unit in Harbor Club, right there in beautiful Palm Harbor. 2 sparkling pools, 1 heated, and you have a spa there as well. You can see all of our listings, Platinum MVP team. .kw.com. All right, Berny Jaques back on the program. Welcome back, Bernie.
Hey, Brandon. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And man, I got to jump to the #1 topic right now. I'm seeing across social media, and it seems like there's a lot of talk around the state of Florida potentially eliminating property taxes. What's your thoughts around that, and what are you seeing?
Yeah, it's a big news item for sure. It's something that a lot of us in the legislature are speaking about, something that the governor has been talking about publicly as well. There's a couple of bills in the legislature looking at that. My colleague, Senator Martin, over the Senate side, is doing a study on the impact of how that would roll out and how that would occur. It's important to note that it would have to be a constitutional amendment. So for your listeners, it's not something that the legislature can just do on their own. We can do the first step by approving what the language will be. Generally, that will go on your ballot. But then it'll be up to the people to decide whether or not they want to still live under a system where they have to pay property taxes on their own property. A lot of times, the property is already free and clear, it's paid off, and you're still giving government, a large portion of your hard-earned dollars. So it begs the question, do you really own your property? That's the conversation that's being had right now, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And is that a constitutional amendment? If I understand correctly, is it a 60% threshold to win it?
Exactly. So 60% of Floridians have to approve of it at least.
Wow, we were kind of joking in yesterday's show. We'll be rounding up our neighbors to go vote for that one. That's something I think a lot of us can get behind. Let me ask you, because of course, what's the naysayers? What's the opposite side? I always like to try to play devil's advocate here. What I hear is education is bloated. That's one of the budgets, and a lot of the lotto money goes to education, but also recycling programs. There's been a lot of negativity around recycling, not actually doing the recycling. It's not feasible. It's not working. What's your thoughts around kind of that contrary?
There's a lot of things they waste our property tax dollars on, but there are some legitimate expenses for local government. Primarily, that's how they get their revenue to run their basic functions of local government through the millage rate, ad valorem taxes, but fire and police, right? So that is a legitimate thing. Public safety is funded out of property taxes as well. So what people need to understand is, as far as proposals that have been pitched, especially in the past, when this has been considered before, I think Marco Rubio, actually, when he was in the Florida House, he eventually became Speaker of the Florida House, this was something he was toying around with. And a lot of the prior conversations proposed a tax swap to make up some of those lost revenues for things like public safety and other basic government, local government functions. And they look at it through the sales tax. So you could see a situation where a ballot initiative asks the voters, would you exchange no property tax for an uptick in the sales tax, right? And a lot of people think that's more fair because it's something that you're consuming, you're involved in the transaction, but having your own property that you own, a lot of people find that to be very offensive, to saying, I'm still giving the government, ransom money, basically, because if they can take it away from you, do you really own it? And that is a decision that Floridians may have to make, whether or not they're ready to take the hit on the sales tax in exchange for zero property tax. It could also be, commercial taxes. It could also be a situation where it's in they can tax non-homestead properties, right? So there's a lot of different things that they can, a proposal can be tailored towards, but it will be up to the voters ultimately.
Yeah, and I was talking offline with Audra from Community Patriots, a friend of mine, and she was saying about 70% of it potentially is bureaucratic waste, and 32 to 38% of the property taxes goes to education. It says the reason why we never save money is because they levy those education taxes and then apply the homestead exemption. Cops, firefighters, water management, et cetera, all gets the leftovers. So she had some strong sentiment there too. But yeah, hey, look, let's take it to a vote. Let's do a study. Let's find out how it would affect and what it would break down. And because I think a lot of times you have someone that's been aging in their home, and they're a senior citizen now. They're 65, 70 years old. And luckily in the state of Florida, we do have the Save Our Homes Act. But if they had to relocate for some reason, luckily there is that the ability to port your homestead to another county, which is great. There are some protections in place, but as somebody that pays, a hefty size taxes for our waterfront property, I would love to see some reduction or potentially elimination. What else are you seeing out there, Bernie?
Well, what we're also seeing out there is a movement to go Doge in Florida.
Yes.
So we're seeing it both from the legislative side, where some members are looking at bills to file to create a Doge-style approach to Florida government, and that may be where we identify a lot of this waste, fraud, and abuse, and how they're blowing away our property tax dollars. That could be uncovered. The governor just did a press conference on his own efforts for a Doge type of inquiry as well, and so this is on the minds of all policymakers, both at the federal level and certainly here in Florida at the state level, to make sure to root out waste when it comes to our taxpayer dollars. The other thing is the fight against illegal immigration is not over. We just passed the strongest bill cracking down on illegal immigration of any of the 50 states in a special session. The governor signed it into law. I'll be working on some additional legislation, such as strengthening our E-Verify system, making sure that the folks that we're employing are legally authorized to work here in the state of Florida. And I filed the bill that I've been telling folks that I would do, which is to verify citizenship when it comes to voter registration in our state, to make sure that only citizens are casting a ballot, and if it passes, it will be a strong measure to see to it.
Yeah, that's super important. When we saw the bloated Social Security numbers, the amount of Social Security numbers that came out, and then the next question is, well, what about our voter rolls? I think, what's your thoughts, generally speaking, around that in Florida? Are voter rolls somewhat tightened up, or do they still need work?
Yeah, look, they're tightened up. I mean, Florida is doing the best, I would say. We are a leader when it comes to election integrity, but there's always more that could be done. Although it is tightened up, it could be tightened up even more. So my bill adds some additional measures to do voter roll maintenance, to look at death certificates, crossing tabs with other governmental databases. If somebody has just registered for a new ID in a new state, we should be notified to then consider that person removed from our database, because that is an indication that they moved and they no longer live here. So my bill will not only root out the non-citizens to make sure that they're not voting in our elections, but it will also make sure to root out folks who aren't living in our state anymore and folks who aren't living, period, right? There are people who are no longer with us, but they're still on the rolls, and you can see how that can be an issue, especially if it's a vote by no situation.
Yeah, what a novel idea. We're talking with State Representative Berny Jaques here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, longtime friend of the program, and kind of keeps us in tune with what's going on in Tallahassee. He's out of the local district here, the Largo district, I believe, Bernie, the Largo, if I misspoke, correct me.
That's right. Yep, Largo, Seminole area.
What's happening, anything local in Pinellas County that we should know about?
Well, as far as locally, there's still storm recovery efforts going on. Many of your listeners have probably been impacted by Helene and Milton, and so we are looking at ways to help our local governments be more responsive, especially in the arena of permitting. That is one of the biggest sources of frustration that we hear from constituents, is that it's taking way too long to get a permit, to build back up, to move back into my home, and to move on. And a lot of it is tied due to some federal restrictions through FEMA and the 50% rule.
Yep.
But we as a state, we're going to be looking at ways to add flexibility and assist our local governments in ways they can be more flexible and be more generous and allowing people to just get streamlined back into their homes so they're not being held hostage by government. And that is one of the things that we're going to be looking at as well.
Yeah, I love that. Back in the early 2000s, I had my mortgage loan origination license, and back then you didn't have to have an NMLS number, which basically is like your Social Security number for the mortgage industry. So there was a lack of transparency, a lack of accountability when we had that 2008 meltdown with a lot of the falsifying of documents and values and things like that. But that leads me to another program is called the 203H program. A lot of people don't realize, but it's called the 203H loan program. And if you were affected by a natural disaster, even if you're a tenant, of course, or an owner, you can get 100% financing from the government on a new property. Of course, you got to qualify for income, but that's a pretty cool program. I don't think a lot of people really understand that that's available to them, Bernie.
Well, the good thing is they have the consumer quarterback.
That's right.
To let them know. So you've been doing a heck of a job letting folks know what's available to them out there. We appreciate your work, and I see this as a partnership because, although I serve in the policy-making role, you have that great platform to get the information out to the people. So I always appreciate you having me on and always appreciate your insight.
Absolutely. My pleasure. And I know you got a hard out here at 2:00. Early picks for governor. Man, there's a lot of names thrown out there. I'm hearing Casey DeSantis. I'm hearing Donald Byronson. I'm hearing Wilton Simpson. What are some other names? What do you think?
Yeah, so all of those names are being floated out there. I'm close to Congressman Byron Donalds. That's who President Trump has already preliminarily endorsed. And so stay tuned, my friend. It's going to be an exciting 2026 for sure.
That's right. Fireworks. I see fireworks going off somewhere. We'll see. All right. Bernie, thanks so much, man. We appreciate it. Keep up the good work out there.
All right. You got it. Take care.
All right. That's State Representative Berny Jaques, Largo District, right here locally, and longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Taking a quick break, we're going to come back and talk with Tracy West. She's the tournament director for the PGA Tour's Valspar Championship coming up just around the corner, and it's perfect location for me because it's only about 5 miles from my home. I love it over there. It's a great time. Come on out, and we'll talk more about that coming up here. Pinellas County is one of the largest events in Pinellas County coming up, that Valspar golf tournament coming up here. We're going to talk with Tracy West coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online. We would love to connect with you at BrandonBrimes1, at CQB Show. And please subscribe to our YouTube and Rumble channels, Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rimes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, Brandon Rimes here for AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. My wife and I shifted a lot of our buying habits, and we wanted to support companies that support our values, patriotic, Christian conservative companies, and you can find that online at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Now, what you're doing is you're not spending any new money. You're simply buying a lot of the common purchases that you're buying every month for the kitchen, the bathroom, your shampoos, your laundry detergent, all types of great essential oils, vitamins, herbs, those types of products. And for you beef lovers, we have great beef products as well. Tenderloin, sirloin steaks, grass-fed beef available as well. So check out AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. And I'd love to talk to you if you have any questions about it. There's also a business opportunity there for you as well. 813-917-1894. And thank you so much for supporting our company, AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Brandon Rimes here, back in studio. Tracy West, Tournament Director, PGA Tour's Valspar Championship. We're going to talk with her in just a moment. We like to feature our listings on air, helping our real estate team sell their properties faster for more money. 12255 North US Highway 27, one of our vacant land listings. We've got about 60 current listings, residential, commercial properties, vacant land. This one's 3 acres in Ocala, just off of Highway 27. You're moments away from the renowned World Equestrian Center. You're close to the prestigious Golden Ocala Country Club. Buy some dirt, build your property there. Beautiful property, great opportunity. 12255 North US Highway 27, Ocala, Florida. Great opportunity. You can see all of our listings online at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Buy dirt, find one you can't live with.
There you go. Buy some dirt. All right, Tracy, welcome in. Tracy West, Tournament Director, PGA Tour Valspar. Welcome in.
Hey, Brandon, how are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored, I always say.
I love it.
Yeah.
I feel the same.
I love it. There you go. All right. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about what's going on. Valspar Championship, and congratulations. I hear big day yesterday, 5-year title sponsor renewal.
Yeah, we had a huge day yesterday. Big announcement. So Valspar has been our title sponsor since 2014, and it's up this year after the 2025 tournament, but they renewed. So this is the third time they've renewed, so it takes us another 6 tournaments, including this year. So really important news, especially considering, the upheaval that has existed the last couple of years on the PGA Tour. So for them to have the faith and belief in this tournament and what it does for their brand and this community this is huge.
Yeah. It's interesting when you look at flash back a few years. I don't follow the PGA as closely as I used to. Sports in general. I played football at University of South Florida here in Tampa Bay on the inaugural team. But full-time real estate agent and all other stuff gets in the way of following sports. But a lot of big stuff happening in the PGA over the last few years with the competition with that other
Live.
That's
golf,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, that was such a big shakeup. What has it been like? How's it affected you and what you do on a day-to-day?
Yeah, I mean, it does affect us, because it's really kind of changed up the schedule and how the formats of the different tournaments work and so forth. But luckily for us, the PGA Tour players love playing Innisbrook. They love playing the Copperhead course. It's one of their favorite courses. So we've continued to have a strong field, regardless of what's been kind of happening around us. But for Valspar to just believe that, hey, everything is working out properly and going to work out well with the PGA Tour, to have that belief to sign another 5 years is really big.
Yeah, it really is. And I know you got some local guys. One of my favorites, Rondé Barber, involved over there too. And what's his capacity with the tournament, helping bring people in?
Yeah, absolutely. So he's our general chair,
Okay.
which is fantastic because obviously he's beloved in this community. So we have a group of Copperheads. There are 200 business and civic leaders throughout the Tampa Bay area, and they really act as our ambassadors throughout the community, talking up the tournament, giving us leads for sponsorships and so forth. Our tournament staff, and then 22 of them serve on our board of directors. So Rondé's one of them, and he's our general chair. So he's my boss. So I get to work for Rondé every day.
There you go. Awesome. I love that. And when you think about the effects of this, I mean, look, the Pinellas County, so annually attracting over 130,000 patrons, 400 corporate partners, 2,500 volunteers, and raising over $1.3 million annually for 90-plus regional charities. That's big numbers. Big numbers.
It is a big number. It's not only, obviously the charitable impact is why we do this and why we do what we do, but it's the economic impact. We have an economic impact of over $65 million annually into the Pinellas County and Hillsborough County and the whole surrounding area. And it's the quality of life, right? I mean, we're one of 46 PGA Tour events throughout the country, so obviously not every city has a PGA Tour event. So for folks and our patrons and fans in this community to be able to come out and watch these players, the best in the world, play live right in front of them on the Copperhead is pretty neat. And we've got a great. We're really a happening.
Yeah.
Most people think, well, gosh, I've got to love PGA Tour golf, or I have to be a golfer to come out and have a good time at this tournament. Oh, absolutely not. We've got probably 45% of the people that come out and watch the event don't even know golf. Couldn't even tell you who Jordan Spieth is or Justin Thomas is, right? They just come out because it's a happening. It's great food. It's a great atmosphere. It's a place to be seen, great social and selfie areas and so forth. So it's really the place to be that week in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it really is. And I think it caps off with maybe like a Saturday night. I remember seeing Darius Rucker there last year before.
Yeah.
That was fun. Darius Rucker, old Hootie and the Blowfish, if you don't recognize Darius with his country career. But some really good songs there. I mean, great lineup and lots of good music. Can you kind of set the table for us, maybe, for some of the folks that have not been involved and maybe not know what to expect?
Sure. So basically, the tournament itself is a 4-day event, so Thursday through Sunday. But there's different things that happen every day, and then even earlier in the week, junior clinics and things for kids to do and so forth. But Saturday is our biggest day. That's when the most amount of people come because we do a Valspar Live concert presented by Chick-fil-A. And this year it is Jordan Davis. So we've tended to always focus on country. So we get a very, very big country act. And anyone that has a Saturday ticket can watch that concert for free. So we start pretty much a half hour after play ends. People wander over to the second driving range. So we're blessed that Innisbrook has actually 3 different golf courses, so 2 different driving ranges. So we take one over, and we've got about 14,000 people that wander on over and watch that concert. So it's pretty fun.
It's a magical evening, especially I know that Darius night was because it was if I recall correctly, it was a little bit cooler temperature, but not too cold, and it was a little bit of light rain, but just so nice. It was just beautiful. What an evening, and you have the beautiful sunsets behind you. Just great time over there at the Innisbrook.
Yeah, the concert's a lot of fun, and then but really every day, we've got a fun activities, and the event is really family friendly. So kids 15 and under are free. So where else do you get to go and bring your kids and go out and as a family and do something all day long for free? Because play really goes from the early morning until dusk. So it's a great opportunity to bring your families. We do military discounts, and or if you're active duty or retired military, you get comp tickets. This year, talking about the storms and so forth, we actually on Thursday, the first 500 first responders that want to go on Thursday, they get a comp ticket and one for their guest. So we're going to give out 1,000 tickets courtesy of Jable. So thank you, Jable, for that.
Nice.
So we try and really make it easy access.
Yeah, that's super awesome. How can people buy early tickets if they'd like? What's the site for that?
Yeah, we certainly encourage people to buy their tickets ahead of time. So it's valsparchampionship.com, and they can go right online, buy the tickets. There's everything from basic grounds tickets to different hospitality tickets that include food and beverage and certain drinks. And so depending upon what you want to do when you get out there, there's a ticket for everyone. And then we also sell parking online, so they can purchase their parking ahead of time so they can just whip right on into the parking lots and not be delayed.
Yeah, that's awesome. Valsparchampionship.com is the website. You can buy your tickets there. And I love what you're doing for the veterans out there. That's great. Give them some discounts for the veterans.
Yeah, we not only give them the discounts, but then Pitch Penny helps us do it's called a Patriots Outpost. It's a big tent on our third green that they get to, our fourth green, that they get to come and we feed them all day long. So we give them Chick-fil-A food, we give them pizza, and they get to sit in a hospitality tent, just like the corporate folks that have tickets. So
I love it.
We really, really do take care of our military in a big way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for doing that. Shout out to all our veterans out there. We appreciate you. And of course, Tracy West, Tournament Director, PGA Tour's Valspar Championship. And, of course, they appreciate you as well. And final thought?
Yeah, come on out and see these guys. We've got the best in the world. We've got early commitments from Justin Thomas and a bunch of guys, and a bunch more players are going to commit. So you get to see the world's finest golfers and have a great time.
Tiger coming?
In the sunshine. Not Tiger.
Not Tiger.
Well, unless he surprises me.
Unless he surprises.
It always could happen. But
All right. All right. Well, I'll give him a call and see if I can get him there.
Exactly.
Just kidding. All right. Hey, thanks for coming in, Tracy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brandon.
Check out ValsparChampionship.com for early tickets. Hey, another great show. Duane Bishoff, Tracy West, and, of course, State Rep Berny Jaques on the program today. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.